We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one with the Zack Snyders Justice League Retrospective. That was a mouthful, just in that. I am one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I need you to carry this one. You're the one with all the energy. You're the one jazzed up like Ted Lasso, so you get to carry the episode.
Is that every Sunday,
tonight,
though?
Okay. Hey, wait a second.
No, I mean, I'm jazzed up every Sunday. I mean.
Oh, you are jazzed up every Sunday. I agree with you there.
Without you on this thing, I am lost. So, but yeah, I think I'm jazzed up every Sunday. Although I think the mustache is giving me power.
I was gonna say you've got that Ted Lasso power tonight.
I was shaving. I was like, you know what? It's time to bring the stash back.
Yeah.
And now that it's here, I'm thinking, man, it's time to get rid of the stash.
Yeah, I always think that too. Like, okay, this is the day I'm going to shave and just leave my mustache. And then I get to it, I'm like, nope, not today.
Yeah, it's like immediate, nope, we shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, that's right.
But, occasionally I like to leave it for it's funny because I used to grow like a full beard, then I would only shave half. I just kind of roll around the day like that.
Yeah.
I just kind of felt like it. And I do have a new Batman hat in case you're wondering.
Yeah, Batman hats galore. He's got one for every day of the week.
No, well,
not yet.
I do have 5 of them. Not the Batman, but Batman specific. So yeah.
I just want to say, hey, what's up to everybody in the chats? Eric, Cookie, Juan, Lauren, Grabs. Thanks a lot, guys, for jumping in with us already. Let us know how your week was. It's another week in with lots of stuff coming out and lots of stuff to read, lots of stuff to watch. So, Chris, let's get into it, man. What'd you get up to this week?
Well, it was actually a busy week for me. I had an engagement party to get to, which was fun, just because I got to wear a suit again for the first time for a while. That was cool. The party was not. Had a road trip that was miserable.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that was basically my week. But as far as the fun stuff goes, I did get some fun stuff. I read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got to read Rain number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is it like 2 weeks old now?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Well, I finally read it. And
there you go. It doesn't matter when you do, as long as you do.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked the issue. It took an interesting turn, though. It kind of gave me a Walking Dead feel in a way.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you know how in The Walking Dead, of course, the zombies are the main antagonists, but then you see, hey, people are just as shitty as the zombies.
Exactly right.
So now it's like, oh, wait a minute, people are just as shitty as the Crystal Rain. Like my heart kind of
was it issue 2 when the religious fanatics were introduced?
Yeah.
Is that issue 2? Yeah.
Well, we saw
the
in the first issue. That one. We saw in the first issue, but then the second issue is when they, attacked.
Yeah, attacked.
Yeah, attacked. Religious attack. And then the third issue is when I guess he was a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it was ex-con or something. He's wearing an orange jumpsuit. I assume that means prisoner.
Yeah, that's what I got too. Like he just escaped the yard.
Yeah, look like So he did his thing, and that just kind of broke my heart in a way. But that was a really good issue. I liked it. Joe Hill is kind of killing it over there. The art is very cool. I like that it's different. Given the subject material, it's not dark looking. Which is it's more like it reminds me of like Daria. You remember the show Daria?
No.
On MTV?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I think there's a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead. I really can't remember anymore. But it reminds me of the show Daria.
Okay.
But I read that. I got caught up on all my X-Men stuff. Which
did you?
To me. Yes.
Yes.
We finally saw the end of X Lives, X of Deaths of Wolverine.
Right.
What storyline. It's so
cool. Really? Nice.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good. But so you have the 2 books, X of Death, X of Lives. They don't connect until the very final issue. And the stories don't even matter with each other. So it's kind of like, why did we do this?
Right.
I don't understand why it was sold this way, why it was promoted this way. One book is really a Moira McTaggart book. The other book is a time-traveling Wolverine story.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was really weird. And you could read either one separately and be like, oh, this is great. And then when you find out there's a gift, like, well, why? But that aside, really, really like that a lot. That's probably one of the I wouldn't say the best X-Men event I've read recently, because Inferno is probably the best event recently, but it was pretty solid. So I read
How
that.
how are they gonna collect that series? Like, would they read it like with the rotating issues, or would you read lives and then you read deaths? How would that work?
I think, well, when they did House of X, Powers of X, or 10, however you interpret it,
Yeah.
I think it's called X. I'm not really sure. It's X-Men craziness. But when they did that, they put it together. And since they're simultaneous, 1 week is X lives, 1 week is X deaths, you would just have that trade like that. So it'd be issue by issue. It'll probably be really well collected.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Jason's in the comments. Hi, Jason. Thanks so much for watching. He mentioned that he was started rewatching the Netflix Marvel shows. I've been meaning to do that. I haven't watched them since they've come out, and I don't even know if I finished Daredevil season 3. So I'm actually interested in doing that. That's a good call out for sure. Probably trade all together in correct order. Lauren thinks it's how they do the trade in Krakoa. Yep.
No shave bars lasted 2 weeks. Had to go to public and shave.
That's usually my trouble too, Grabs. Anytime I have to subjugate people looking at my face, I'm like, okay, I better look, somewhat respectable. maybe not. I don't know. Who can say?
Somewhat respectable.
That's right.
Oh, and I also read that new Batman Superman World's Finest. Did you read that yet?
I did read it. Yep.
What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I like the art. Dan Mora, outstanding. I think it was written by Mark Waid. This is probably the first thing that I've ever really known to have read anything by him. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And I wasn't expecting as much of a world building as it was. Like there was, more characters than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was going to be straight up. You thought it was going to be more straight up Batman, Superman story. But I like it. Dan More's art for sure. That sold me on the first little bit. So I'll keep reading just under that alone.
I liked it. I think Dan Mora is one of the best artists working today. I've been following his art since like before he got hired for big books. So I'm happy to see him do these kind of stories. And his art just really sold this one for me. The story wasn't the finest hour, I think, for Mark Waid. Like it's okay. It's not a bad story. I like it. But I was expecting something different, I think, and that's maybe my expectations got in the way of that one.
Yeah, this one's been pretty hyped up, I think, for a while. The story, the Mark Waid, and Dan Mora for sure. Dan Mora is not drawing Detective anymore. Question mark?
I don't know. I haven't.
I don't know
since it went
either.
weekly, I haven't kept up with it.
Yeah, so I wonder if this is his thing now that he's full on to this one, and if so, that's great as well.
We don't care about Oscars, but Encanto won, and that's awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Good for Encanto.
Yes. I'm not watching the Oscars, of course. I don't really care that much, but I'm hoping certain things win. So I see there's also so Daredevil season 3. Just want to touch on that real quick.
Okay.
I love Daredevil season 3, and I'm curious how many people are going to find Daredevil now that it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Are more people going to see it now that it's on that than on Netflix? Do you think?
I think so. I mean, Disney Plus, it has a lot of content, but as far as like content for an adult, it's lacking, and Daredevil fits that bill.
I've noticed the advertising for it when I go on to Disney Plus. It's pretty prominent. It has like its own little section. Defenders, I think it's called, or Marvel Defenders. Yeah, I think so. On mine, it does.
It's not on that Star thing?
No, it's right on the front page of when you open up Disney Plus. You don't have to go into Star to see it. So I think they're promoting it the right way. Like I said, when Jason brought it up, it just made me think about wanting to watch it, all over again. Because I remember being sour on Jessica Jones season 2, on most of Luke Cage, on most of Iron Fist, on most of the Defenders, and I liked Punisher. I think there was 2 seasons of that I liked.
Yeah.
I liked the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, but then eventually it just kind of got lost. And just saying that out loud now, there's a lot of seasons of those shows. Like there was a lot.
It's a lot of content.
A lot of content for sure. So I should go back and that'd be a time. It'd take a lot of time to get through them now. Just saying that. But I should try for sure, and especially because I didn't give a lot of them a chance. Specifically, Daredevil season 3. I didn't give it a good enough chance.
I'm curious what you think about it if you go back and watch it. To me, I think it's my favorite season of the 3. I don't love 2. I love the Frank Castle stuff.
Yes.
But I don't love the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of John Berthnall. Big fan. I think he's like the perfect Punisher, perfect Frank Castle. I thought he was great in the stuff we saw of him in Daredevil, and then the stuff in Punisher as well. So I'll definitely give that another rewatch, 100%.
Yeah, I want to do that myself, but like you said, time. And I'm horrible with stuff anyway.
I know, time.
I'm horrible with watching things in a certain time limit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I forgot I haven't finished Succession. I was thinking about that last night.
Really?
I haven't finished season 2.
Oh, no.
Like, hey. As I was going through like this stack of comics digital, but still, I was thinking, man, I haven't watched Succession.
How far did you get?
I'm like season 2, episode 8, I think, maybe 9.
Oh, cow. Oh, man. Yeah, I remember you went pretty hard on that for a while. You must have just got sidetracked.
I don't even know with what.
Yeah, the Chris Evans sidetracked.
I mean, it happens. You know how I do
yeah,
things.
I know. It happens with you. Yeah, it happens to all of us.
I'll get to it eventually. We'll get there. But, I don't think I watched anything this week, really. I don't, other than Superman and Lois, I don't think I sat down and watched anything.
Well, let's talk. I know you're going to talk about this probably when you do World's Finest with Zeddy, but you tweeted out, I think it was yesterday or the day before, week after week, episode after episode, that it's slowly declining for you. I know it's mostly, or it was up until, the last time you recorded World's Finest with Zeddy, there was a lot about the Cushings. Is it all the Cushings now, or is it some other stuff that's kind of bleeding into it as well?
Well, the Cushings are just part of it. There's just too many storylines, except I think the one that matters most, and I feel like that one's getting skirted under the rug in favor of stuff like Lana and Kyle's marital issues, or Jordan's relationship problems, Jonathan's relationship problems. And I don't really care about that stuff right now. I want to see the main storyline, which, I mean, we're eight episodes in. You would think that they would be focusing on the big bad of the season somewhat. Yeah. But we still don't exactly know what's going on there because they're too busy with all these other storylines. And so at this point, I'm not hoping they write the characters out so much as I am hoping they just make less of them.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about this season specifically, and the biggest change over season 1, is I don't feel the need to watch it on Tuesdays. I'd be like, I'll watch it later.
That's how I feel too.
There's no sense of urgency, like, I have to watch this. I have to see what's going to happen. It's just, ho hum now. I don't know if boring is the right way, or because I think it's actually people are loving it a lot. I've seen the total opposite of how we're feeling about it, but like there's people who really, really love this show, who love all the CW shows. A good friend of ours, Ryan Huselman, loves all those shows, and he promotes all the time on his Twitter that they should renew everything CW, which is great. But for me, I don't feel the need that I have to watch it. It's not must watch for me right now. I can listen to you and Zeddy talk about it and get the gist of what the episode's about. Even though that first season, I wanted to watch it every Tuesday. I wanted to see what's happening with Superman, what's happening with Morgan, and the kids and everyone. I just don't get that sense anymore.
Yeah, I don't either, and it's a shame because last season I think we were all basically in love with this series.
Yeah.
And this season, not so much. Like you said, I don't have to watch on Tuesdays anymore. I usually just watch it before Zeddy and I record.
Oh, really?
Before,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's with the last few episodes. It's like, well, I think it was actually the episode where we did the dual review. I watched them both in a block because I was too busy for the first week, and then the second week I just I got to watch them together. So it's just not a must watch for me anymore, and I kind of hate that because I like seeing the Superman. I love the cast. I even like the Cushings. The cast, they're great. It just I don't think the time management's working out for me here, and it's making the show decline.
Yeah, something happened with the writers for this season. I'm not sure what it was, but they just definitely took the characters in different directions, and obviously where we saw them at the end of season 1. Kyle being the biggest one. We have no idea what kind of character they want him to be. For us to like him, to not like him, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing with him. If you guys want us to like him, cool. If you don't, let us know. I'm confused.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you said you didn't watch too much this week. I can't think off the top of my head what I really watched this week either. Yeah, I really don't know. I can't think of it. I watched Batman Forever with my son again. It was last week that I watched Batman and Robin with him. Mm-hmm. We watched Batman Forever, and I mentioned to do in our group chat that we have that I liked it more than I remembered that I did. Awesome. I know you're actually pretty high on that movie. Not like high, but like you like that movie. And, you know, a lot of people, from what I've seen, people think it's like the tiny precursor to Batman and Robin, where it's just more of the same, but turned down a little bit more. You know, and I was always such a big fan of Val Kilmer as Batman. I thought he was great. I think he's a great Batman. I think he's great Bruce Wayne. I like how ridiculous Jim Carrey is. You know, I'm not even the biggest Jim Carrey fan, but I like his Riddler. I think he's, you know, that Frank Gorshin, just crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Obviously, he says a lot of weird things, some stupid stuff, you know. But I like the look. You know, Tommy Lee Jones, I don't really care. I think he's good fun. You know, and the stuff with, you know, Robin, it really got me thinking about, you know, Matt Reeves and the Batman and having a Robin in that universe and how it can be utilized. And again, it's not the best version of Robin. That's pretty clear. But I had a lot of fun with Batman Forever, more than I expected to, especially after I watched Batman and Robin first, and then I went backwards and watched Forever. They're totally different. Everything's just turned up that much more for Batman and Robin. I think Forever's good. I had no problem with it, surprisingly, this time. And I know that you actually like it more than, I think probably more than I do now.
Yeah. Forever's, it probably is my favorite of those four, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. I like 89 and stuff. I don't really like Returns. And Batman and Robin, I don't hate it, but it's not really something that I need to watch, I guess. But somehow I end up putting it on. It's kind of good background noise for me. But yeah, Forever is one I go back to quite a bit. I love Val Kilmer's Batman. I like the look of the movie. I kind of think that's a perfect, well, maybe not perfect, but that's a really good looking Gotham. It mixes that Gothic architecture with like the interesting neons and different stuff like that. I love that car. That's probably my favorite Batmobile still.
Yeah, it's great for sure.
Yeah, and I remember I had the toy. That was fun. They used to light up when you press the button. It's cool stuff. The only thing, like when I rewatch it now, I really don't like Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face.
Yeah.
That's partly because I love Two-Face, and that version just is not Two-Face to me. But it's still a fun performance, fun movie, and yeah, I like Forever. I also really like the Red Book edition, which not many have seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I thought about it a bunch as I was watching it. How much I would want to see that movie. Another thing about that I noticed about Forever, it's incredibly sexualized. Chase Meridian and Val Kilmer, holy cow, they are thirsting over each other every second they are on screen together.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Even Two-Face, like Drew Barrymore, and is it Debbie Mazar? Who is the other one?
Oh, the evil one. I don't know.
Evil. Yeah, I think her name is I can't remember right now. But even they were really sexualized. It's kind of weird to watch it in a way.
Yeah, like Drew Barrymore has the underwear on.
Yeah, so did the other one with just leather.
Yeah, and Jim Carrey is very sexualized too, like in his mannerisms. The things that he say, obviously he says joygasm. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you know, and his tight uniform, and he's always grabbing himself, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So
I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of people were saying. It's just a precursor to Forever or to Batman and Robin. It's just that one step down from it. And once I don't know, I guess Forever was probably popular and probably did very well. Obviously, they wouldn't have done another one. And, you know, the studio asked, you know, Schumacher or whatever, just to turn it up some more. Give me more nipples. Give me more butts.
And that's what we got. But you know what's funny about it?
And that's what we got.
That's what we got. If you look at Batman 89, so in Batman 89, the W was like, oh, this is great. You made money. Keaton's killing it. Do another one. So Burton went full Burton. Did not work for people or whatever. It didn't work for McDonald's, I guess. And they did Forever. forever works for people. Okay, cool. Give us another one. Go more Schumacher. Schumacher says, okay, nipples it is. And then, we see what happened with Batman and Robin. So it's kind of like they give the directors, full reign, and then they say, no, maybe we made a mistake here.
Mm-hmm. And thus, we got the long break between Batman and Robin and Batman Begins. So it all worked out in the end.
That is the connection that we needed. It's like that game, what is it, 7 Degrees of Sean Penn or something?
Kevin Bacon. Is that what it is? Don't you disrespect Kevin Bacon's name by saying Sean Penn.
I hate Kevin. Have we ever went over this? I hate Kevin Bacon.
No. Oh, my God. Really?
I hate Kevin Bacon. But I hate him
in First Class?
Well, okay, no, I don't hate his performance. I hate his face. Whenever I see his face, I think of the movie Sleepers, and I can't get past that character. I can't get past the character he plays in Sleepers. So whenever I see him, so I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Sleepers, that bastard.
Yeah, he plays a good bad guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, so he's actually great in First Class because of that, but still.
Yeah.
That bastard.
that rat bastard.
Yeah, not a fan.
As for what I read this week, I actually caught up on Curse of the White Knight and Curse of the White Knight with Harley Quinn. The new series is starting. It starts this week, comes out on Tuesday. The one Beyond the White Knight. I remember when Curse of the White Knight came out, and I remember reading like the first 2 pages are. It looks like it's the Three Musketeers, or it's the Count of Monte Cristo, or something like that. And I'm like, what am I reading right now?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I didn't give a fair chance, I dropped it pretty much after that first issue. Azrael wasn't, a lot of people don't care about Azrael. I don't really care about Azrael. But I gave it I knew I wanted to read Batman Beyond the White Knight. I wanted to be hyped for that for our man Zeddy, who's excited about multiple Batman Beyond comics that are coming out over the next couple weeks. It's not part of the Batman Beyond. I forget what it's called, Noir or Neo
Noir.
Yeah, that's right. So it's not part of that. It's just more of the White Knight series that Sean Murphy's doing.
Okay.
For DC, but it's got Terry McGinnis is in it.
Okay.
So it's beyond the White Knight. So I knew I wanted to catch up on Curse of the White Knight and the Harley Quinn one. And I'm happy to say, as Lauren says in the comments here, that it is amazing. It's very good. It definitely takes a lot of weird liberties. It's a DC Black Label book, so it can do kind of whatever it wants. And Sean Murphy does basically whatever he wants, rewriting origin stories, killing off people, changing the history of the Waynes, of Gotham, of Arkham, of Azrael. It does a lot of different things, and a lot of the stuff that he does may not jive with a lot of people. The look of everything may not jive with a lot of people, but I love, I love it. I'm fair to say that it's very, very good, and it's one of my favorite Batman books that has come out in the last 5 or 10 years, or whatever you want to say.
That's some high praise.
Yeah, it's very good. I read it on Thursday. I read all of Curse and then all of the Harley Quinn one, because I remember reading the first one, White Knight, with the Joker being Jack Napier, all that kind of stuff that they brought in, and I remember liking it. I didn't love it, but then after reading Curse, I'm like, I love this series and I can't wait for more. I've already read. Thankfully, I've read Beyond Curse of the White Knight. The first issue of that, and it's very good. It's just as good as anything that's come before it. I think people who are Batman Beyond fans like Zeddy will love it. Terry McGinnis, but you do have to have read everything else before it to understand what's going on. I don't know, Chris. I'm not sure if you like that series or not. I don't think you do, or I don't know if you've read it or not.
I'd read some of them, then I got sidetracked. I started the first series of it. What was it called? Just White Knight.
Yeah,
I read the first 3 or 4 issues, and I really, really liked it a lot. I thought it was very cool. I loved a lot of the little nods in the art, the story, and then I forgot what happened. I got sidetracked. But what I always go back to when I think about it is there was a bit where I believe it's the Joker's in his office or some kind of hideout, and he had all these Batmobiles everywhere.
Yeah, the posters and stuff on his wall.
Yeah. That always sounded like, this is so cool. It's like meta. Which I don't always like that kind of thing, but it's just cool to see it in a comic.
Yeah, and they get a lot of that when they go into the Batcave. You see every Batmobile brought to life. the Tumblr, the Affleck one, the Keaton one, all of that stuff. So it's really fun that way, and it's almost like how DC is doing everything with Infinite Frontier, where everything matters, everything happened, and it's the same thing with this one. Like everything that's happened in the Batman's life has happened some way or another, and it relates back to Batman '89 with the Jack Napier stuff. But then specifically, I think it's in the final 2 issues, or maybe the final couple issues of Curse of the White Knight. He's riding around the Tumbler, and they call it the Tumbler.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like it all happened. It all exists. And Sean Murphy's he's one of those guys that quit Twitter and kind of does his own thing. I think he might have a Substack now. I'm not sure. But I really love his art too. I almost like his art more than his writing. That's kind of where he started out. I remember he did a series with Scott Snyder called The Wake. I think it was from DC Vertigo, which was very good. I like that. So I'm a big art fan for Sean Murphy, and I've definitely come around on his dialogue and his story beats as well.
It's very specific.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. I wish he did more. Like, I know he's kind of created this universe, and I think there's more. It's going to expand, especially with this Beyond one. I think there's spinoffs. The Harley Quinn one was a spinoff. He didn't write it. He did the covers for it. But it was very good too. Another thing I mentioned about like how he takes a lot of liberties. The Harley Quinn stuff is a definite one where there are liberties taken.
Good or bad?
Yeah, good ones.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's a spoiler. Curse of White Knight and the Harley Quinn one have been there for over a year, but she's had twins. She has babies.
Oh, okay.
There's kind of a weird kind of relationship that her and Bruce Wayne have. It's not a sexual one, but it's like it's not a brother-sister one because there is a little bit of sexual tension, but it's kind of like a soulmates kind of thing. And her whole relationship with the Joker, how she started out at Arkham Asylum as the psychiatrist, all that stuff is kind of rewritten as well. So if you haven't given it a chance, everyone always says, you see it all the time, it's just another Batman book. I agree with you, but when they're good, it's really hard to turn down. I said this earlier today when I ordered a couple comic books. I ordered a Batman book, and I'm like, I feel bad buying all these Batman books. Like, I have, 50% of my comic books are Batman books. Like, just have Batman in the title, not Batman and Robin, not Batgirl, like Batman. And it's like, oh man, I got to buy another one, but they're good. Like, it feels weird to say, but some of the best comic books are Batman comic books. It's hard not to buy them all the time, even though there is 3, 4, 5 Batman books out every week. I definitely recommend people picking up Beyond the White Knight this Tuesday.
I think you need some.
I haven't read that one. That sounds good.
You need to get some X-Men to balance the Batman.
Yeah, I can't do it.
We'll
get him off that damn island. I'll try it.
Oh, we got a long time. A long time. That's not
we
going
sure do. So that's pretty much all I read this week. I don't know if I tried to read. Oh, I read some more Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips stuff, the Criminal series. They became famous for their, or not became famous, but they're famous because of the Criminal series that they did. But I've got a new one I picked up a little while ago it's called the Sleeper. It's back when DC used to have all these, offshoots, Wildstorm and Vertigo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those. It's about like a sleeper agent who's deep undercover, and the only person that knows he's undercover is his boss, but his boss is in a coma. So he's kind of deep into it with that. It's about superhuman beings or superpowered beings, politics, all that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of the creative team. I'll read anything they've done. So I read a little bit of that. That was pretty much it for my reading, though. Yeah.
Have you read Animal Man from Grant Morrison?
No, and I haven't read the Grant Morrison one, and I've been meaning to read the Jeff Lemire one. I don't really know much about the character at all. When the New 52 launched, I remember Scott Snyder was on Swamp Thing, and Animal Man, or I forget his real name, was in the first 2 issues or 3 issues of Swamp Thing, and that was it. Pretty much only thing that I'd heard of Animal Man.
I remember. I don't remember which run I've read of Animal Man, but I did read some of it. I want to say it might have been the Morrison one, and I remember liking it. But it's been a while. I think it was the Morrison one.
Buddy Baker.
Man, that's a fun name, Buddy Baker.
That's a great name.
That's like a Stan Lee name. Buddy Baker.
Buddy Baker. Yeah, so that's what I read this week. Do you read anything else that caught your eye? Lauren in the comments talking about the Trial of Amazons.
I've been hearing a lot about that.
Yeah, the newest episode was the Yara Flora one, Wonder Girl, drawn and written by Joelle Jones, who did her, I think it was her Future State books as well, which were
I think so.
Probably the best books of Future State. So I've been meaning to, I want to keep up on it. You know, it's Wonder Woman's really only event that there's ever been.
I don't know. I would count Death Metal as her event.
Yeah, that she was awfully big in that for sure. 100%.
Yeah, Death Metal I would say is hers.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great use of her too. She was fantastic in that.
You love metal.
I do love Death Metal. It's fun. It's just a fun story. It's really complicated too, but I don't even care. It's really fun.
So complicated. God damn, that's Scott Snyder.
You really need like one of those, you know, the boards where they connect the characters, like in a cop movie. They connect all this guy did this or it was here. You need one of those to figure it out, but it's fun. I forgot I want to call it interrogation board, but I know that's not what it's called.
I think at the start of his books, there's like a giant map of it, wasn't there? Of whatever the Batman Who Laughs was, what he controlled and what.
Yeah, there was something. I think he was trying to do like a Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And chaos is always fun.
Chris has been starting chaos since 10 a.m. this morning Eastern.
All I did was what was necessary. That's all.
If you want to know what we're talking about, make sure you check out Your Friendly Neighborhood Morning Show on YouTube. You'll see that in the chats. Chris really giving her about Mr. Sinister, changing everybody's mind.
I did what I needed to do. All is right. It's like a balance, you know, like the Thanos thing with the. All is right in the world. It's a balance.
So that's what we read and watched. Yeah, well, that's what we read and watched this week. But big thing that caught our eye this week, big thing dropped by Matt Reeves on his weird little website. It's given us clues from the Riddler, and it's pretty much everywhere. And that was the deleted scene of Barry Keoghan and Robert Pattinson meeting in Arkham Asylum. We get our first big look at what Matt Reeves' iteration of the Joker was looking like, or a Joker, or the character that would become Joker would look like in his universe. We get a lot more dialogue aside from that ending scene in the Batman with him. So yeah, Joker, and as soon as it came out, it was hot topic, man. Mm-hmm. The look, the feel, the sound, everything about it. So Chris, I know you watched it a little bit later because I watched it as it came out, and I remember you asking, or I think you asked her, I mentioned that you shouldn't watch it on your phone. You should watch it on a TV screen, and you'll get a better sense of what the scene is. So, you know, what were your first impressions after seeing the deleted scene?
Before we get to that, I just want to say we don't want to spoil anything in the movie, so we're only going to talk about the deleted scene, right?
100%.
Okay, cool. So the scene, I had to wait 5 hours to watch it. And then when I got home, I put on my TV, and I was pretty amazed by it. I had some high expectations just because I kept seeing screenshots of it online. Like everybody was posting screenshots. Everybody had opinions about it. And I really just kind of stuck to our group chat that we have. And even you guys, it was really hyped up there. I was like, okay, this is something special. So there was a lot of hype going into it. It was not like, it was kind of like getting the movie again in a way.
Yeah.
This new piece of it, you know. And also, this is a piece we could watch at home already as many times as we want. And it's 5 minutes. So that's a good chunk of time. That's
what I was surprised about.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be like a 45, like the way Reeves described it in interviews and stuff. I thought it was like a 45-second scene or something like that, you know? Yeah. But I'm glad that I went on mute. I'm sorry. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So I remember when I watched it, and the first thing I thought, and it was the same response. I watched it with my wife actually just yesterday, and she thought she was grossed out by it. And that one of the first things that I thought, I'm like, this guy is scary. Like, I'm scared. Like, if you were, walking down a back alley and you bumped into this guy, you would be scared out of your mind. And it's definitely a take on the Joker as well. It's not just a guy with a funny laugh. He's got, blood all over his fingers. They're chewed up or broken or whatever. He's burnt and scarred all over the back of his head. His mouth is probably the grossest and most elaborate of any of the Joker mouths that we've seen so far, even more than the Heath Ledger one. Obviously the rest were mostly just makeup and paint or a little bit of blood if you're Joaquin Phoenix. So I know you're not the biggest fan of the look, Chris. Right? Maybe you're not a big fan of the look, but you just want a different look. So do you actually like this look?
Oh,
or
no,
do you
I
not
don't
like it at all? Okay.
I don't like it at all. No.
Mm-hmm.
I get what he was going for. Like, I get it. You want a scary Joker. You want something we haven't seen before, and you want to go back to the original concept of the Joker. When the Joker was created, he was based on that Man Who Laughs silent film. I get you. I get it. It's cool. Herman Smile. I'm cool with it. Let's do it. What I'm not cool with is whatever that is. He looks like a funhouse villain. Like with Jason Voorhees without the mask. I don't know what it's not for me. I'm trying not to just destroy it, but
That's okay.
I just don't really care for it. I think it's scary, is grotesque. I don't even know how you put him full time in a movie and not dance that thin line between PG-13 and rated R, because he's not. You can't sell a toy with that either. Which whatever. I'm not. That's fine, but I don't even know how you put that in marketing without a horror tag or something. He's hard to look at.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The 5 minutes, and what do we actually see of his mouth? 10 seconds, maybe, and the rest of it is blurred in. What's that?
For me, it's not even so much the mouth that's the problem. I don't mind the smile. It's not the mouth. It's like the burns and I don't know, just something about it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like a 2-hour movie or a 3-hour movie in some cases of this guy would not be a crowd pleaser. As much as we are supposed to hate the Joker is always a character that we love. In this one, it would be very hard to like him. That's one thing. Well, like I said, I'm scared by this one. I love the way he sounds. I thought the laugh was great. I thought that, again, the dialogue was very good. The acting was very good in the shot. Like 5 minutes, they had a lot to chew on. I thought it was shot really interesting. Like I said, how blurry he was through 95% of the scene. I like the close-ups of the fingers and the back of his head and all that stuff. So it's a weird feeling. Like I just said, you're supposed to love to hate him. I also liked that I felt this way.
Yeah.
I'm on the different side of you. I like this look. I also understand that having a classical look would be great too. I have no problems with 3 Jokers. I think did you post that in one of your pictures? I think.
Well, I was just using that to show why can't we have this, because we haven't had like a classic Joker since Nicholson, and that's only if you count him, because some people don't. I do, but I want that.
For sure, and I get that too, and I think there's always room for more. If Reeves wanted to do that, I think it would work. And I've seen takes online that a straight up Joker wouldn't work. They can make it work any way they want to. Any actor, it can be written, shot, whatever. It's not determined. There's no A to B line or 1 to 2. It's a straight line. They can do anything they want. So if they want to do a straight, a guy in perma white or makeup, and just have lines on his face with makeup, that's fine. It doesn't have to be the cut smile or whatever like that. I don't care. But I just, there was something about this one actually scaring me. And I think there was a lot of what he was trying to do with the Riddler as well in that movie. Again, we won't talk spoilers, but there was, and you were supposed to be scared of him a lot of times. And I think I got that feeling with this Joker as well. I still don't think he's tall enough. I think he's a little short guy running around. That was one of them. He never really he never felt like a force aside from his smarts, which is weird in this one. He's smarter than Batman instantly. He looked at the case file that Batman gave him. 10 seconds, he knew exactly everything about the Riddler, just like that. And it took Batman forever to figure it out.
Forever. We go back to that one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, really. And I will say I do think it'd be an interesting switch if we get a Joker that we as an audience don't like. Mm-hmm. Because, like you said, we usually love the Joker. Even Ledger's Joker was batshit crazy and does some horrible things. You love to see him. But it would be interesting if they do kind of turn that on its head and, we don't like this Joker. This guy, he's just bad. We don't, that'd be an interesting thing to do with him because we haven't seen that. That's something we haven't seen. Even Jack's Joker was kind of lovable in a way.
100%.
He's lovable. Jared Leto's is what it is. I know people hate him. I don't. But he also wasn't one, I hate him. Mm-hmm. Neither was Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, Arthur Fleck. We were meant to sympathize with him. Like, I totally get why you're going to go nuts on the subway train. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sympathize with you, man. Me too. Me too, bro. I also got hit with a sign, I guess. But no, this one, it'd be interesting to see, especially because, like, Reeves has gone in such detail about the backstory he kind of has planned for him. And it's interesting. I don't know. I don't want to be stuck on the look, and I'm trying not to be because I like everything else about the scene. I like Barry's laugh, the voice. I like the dialogue. I love that we have a Batman and Joker with history already. And I love how Batman already looks tired of the Joker's bullshit.
Yeah.
And they only just met, really. I love it. So I'm trying not to get hung up on the look, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree that I don't think a look like this would work over a 3-hour movie. I think it has to change somehow.
Yeah, and oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
I was gonna say, there's a chance like he'll, because it looks like his wounds are kind of fresh somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe there's time for him to heal more, and he won't be as gross looking. Like if he just retains the smile, and maybe his hair is still kind of missing, like chunks of it. I'm okay with that. Just as long as he doesn't look like he just walked out of My Bloody Valentine.
Sure.
We
have to understand
Warwick Davis in Leprechaun 2.
I thought he looked like Leprechaun a bit too.
Yeah, he looks like Leprechaun. I gotta post that on Twitter.
Another thing we have to understand is the movie or the scene was deleted from the movie, so it's not. I don't know what we're going to call it. It's not canon. Like all we got of the character is maybe a scene a little bit differently in said movie. The deleted scene isn't part of the movie. It's not released. They didn't re-release it as part of the the theater experience. You can't go to the theater and see this scene. Who knows if there'll be a director's cut of the movie, but it could be just an extra on the Blu-ray or whatever. So whatever you're seeing of this Joker, if it's changed by a sequel or in a HBO Max series, it could look totally different. It could be 100% different. And it probably will be. That's just how things do. I guarantee that Robert Pattinson's Batsuit won't look the same as it did in the first one. The only thing I would say about that is Colin Farrell will probably look exactly like the Penguin.
And Grabs is right. That might have been Optimus Prime in disguise, which was really fitting if you think about it. Joker in disguise.
He's a robot in disguise.
Oh, he's a Joker in disguise.
That's right.
As a whatever that is. I'm glad this was deleted, actually.
Yeah, I'm also glad that we saw it.
I am too.
We've been we were looking for this 2 weeks ago, and all we got was some Riddler plans and sketches and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad we saw it. I'm glad it was also deleted. I'm glad we can watch it anytime we want. I'm glad we can talk about it because that's just another thing for this Batman Reeves verse. It's just more conversation about the world that he's building.
And if it were in the movie, it would have just been really distracting. That's why I'm glad it was deleted. Because if I would have saw this in the movie, I would have just been like, "Hey, where's the Joker? When's the Joker coming back? Bring back the Joker." So I'm glad that it was not in the movie. And I'm also glad that it doesn't spoil anything about the movie for people. Like you can watch this without seeing the movie, and you don't really have. There's nothing in there that'll ruin the movie for you, which is really.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. All right, guys. So that's what we caught up on this week. Watched and kind of something that caught our eye. and took the Twitterverse by storm. So as always, guys, if you're on our Twitter account, that's the G of the Geeks on Twitter, you will see a poll. I think we had actually Science Sundays this week.
I think we did.
Yeah, and we wanted to know, because Spider-Man No Way Home is a gigantic success, and of course we know a sequel is coming, so we want to know who you would pick as the main villain Spidey will face off against. New Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter, and New Venom. Chris, you put New Green Goblin, New Venom. I wonder about a New Green Goblin. That's kind of an interesting one. I'll get into the comments a little bit later, because we did get some, but that would have been my pick, a newer Green Goblin, a younger one maybe. What do you think about the options you put up? What would you have picked?
For me, Green Goblin is really Willem Dafoe, so that's kind of a hard one for me. I think I want to see a Venom.
Okay.
I like the idea of Kraven, but I don't know a lot about the character, and I know that we're getting the Aaron Taylor Johnson movie anyway. So I think I lean more toward the Venom side, just because I think we haven't had a really good Spider-Man Venom confrontation on film.
A big popular one in here, BJ Shea wanted Mr. Negative, like the video game.
Yeah, that was a cool idea.
Feast, play up the Aunt May story and dealing with her legacy. That part, or the storyline of Mr. Negative, was my favorite villain parts in the Spider-Man PS4 game. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the Sinister Six stuff as much.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, I liked it. It was fine. Obviously, I like swinging around and fighting Vulture and Electro, all that kind of stuff. But that stuff with Mr. Negative was nice, and I liked, again, the Feast angle with May, and obviously May has her demise at the end of the video games. I love that stuff, and it was a character that I didn't know about. I had no idea who Mr. Negative was at all. The demons. I like the scenes in the game where you kind of go into that negative space or wherever. I don't even know where it is, and you're kind of battling the demons and battling Mr. Negative. So I love that. I love that idea. I think it's great.
Yeah, Mr. Negative was a really cool idea in the game, and I'd like to see that translated on film. I don't know if he's big in comics though, which would give them some creative freedom, I think, to do what they will with him. Mm-hmm. So I'd be into that. That's a good idea, I think. Also, when you use the lesser known villains, you don't have as many people who get upset with everything. Like we're fans; it's what we do. But lesser known characters are easier to translate, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Another one on Twitter from Philip Barker said he would have picked Tombstone, Scorpion, Hobgoblin, or Jackal. Jackal isn't one that I know about. I know Tombstone, again, from the animated series and from the video game as well. I think that'd be great. Spider-Man, you can pick anybody. He's got a great rogues gallery with a lot of great villains. I think a lot of them will work. The idea about the new Venom is interesting, though, because we had the Topher Grace Venom not that long ago, and then we still have the Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy one. We talked about this a little bit about the blending of their universes, the Sonyverse versus the Marvelverse. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it's going to go forward with the sequel for No Way Home, if they're going to stick more in this the Sonyverse. But how would you want and if you've seen, I guess it's a spoiler, not really a spoiler, for the end credit scene of No Way Home, or is it a Venom 2? Which one's the one where he's sitting in the bar? Okay, and he gets Eddie Brock sitting in a bar, and he gets blasted back to his universe, and a little piece of the symbiote is still hanging around afterwards. So I guess that's how they would, put it on, if there is an Eddie Brock in this universe, or if they put it on somebody else. Is there anything different that you want to see about a new Venom? Because we've had two versions. Venom is, I don't know if it's hard to do or if it's easy to do. Just put a guy in a suit and make him angry and give him cool special effects. How would you want to do the new Venom thing?
Well, I would want to see the Spider-Man black suit thing first.
Okay.
That's kind of the big thing for me. I want to see that. I know that's a huge deal in the comics. Our buddy Nico Caruso is a huge Spider-Man fan. That's something he wants to see. So I'd like them to start with that and then pivot toward a new Eddie Brock who, maybe fits the bill for the character a little bit better, and then do the full-on villain Eddie Brock instead of the like Tom Hardy's very much a hero.
Sure.
And Topher Grace's, of course, was whatever he was meant to be, just a weird villain. So let's maybe try a decent villain with him. I like Topher Grace's Venom for the record, but let's try to do something else, just a straight villain.
I love the look of Topher Grace Venom for sure.
Yeah,
I like his look better than the Tom Hardy one. I find the Tom Hardy one, he's just too big.
I don't mind that
for me.
Well, I mean, he's bulky in the comics sometimes. Like he's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when I think Venom, I usually think of the series from the '90s, and that Venom was gigantic.
Yeah, he was.
He looked like an action figure, really.
He looked like Rhino, but just with the black suit on.
Yeah, right, and without the horn. That's kind of when I think of Venom, I think of that. That's kind of my Venom.
Yeah.
Or even the ones from the video games, like do you remember the Ultimate Spider-Man game?
No.
Oh, he was like a monster. I think of that one too. So yeah, I like the bigger Venom, but I like the design of Topher Grace's because he looked more like alternate Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting how it goes forward with the No Way Home sequel and how they blend in the how they blend in the yeah, he is. He's feeling good tonight. They blend it with the more supernatural and out there villains. With the obviously. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has fought aliens before. Like that's the joke in No Way Home. I fought aliens in space. But him on Earth fighting different things. Like he fought the water monster and Mysterio and all that kind of stuff in Far From Home. But I wonder about like a more CGI reliant villain. I wonder how that would work for this Spider-Man.
Call me crazy. I kind of want to see them attempt a practical Venom.
Okay.
I think it can be done. I mean, like Juggernaut X3 looked terrible. He did. Yep. But I think there's something there you can work with still. And even if I think the Juggernaut Deadpool 2 was CGI, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
But so maybe you could do like a standard person, but enhance him, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm good either way. That might be something to look at.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. 2 big votes, I think. Jason gave us one, Black Cat, and for plot reasons only.
Yeah,
I think that'd be an interesting idea. Well, we'll see what happens. Like I said, the Spider Sonyverse is expanding. There's that Madam Web movie that's coming where there's rumors about Black Cat being in that. I'm sure that Kraven the Hunter one, there's going to be a bunch of different characters, more than just Kraven in that. So there's lots of villains. There's no lack of villains in the Spider-Man universe, that's for sure.
And we have Morbius coming next week, which I am excited for.
I think there's going to be a lot of people excited for it, and I think we talked about this as well. If it's just as good or bad as Venom 1 and Venom 2, then people are just going to have a good time with it.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I hope so. I'm hoping I enjoy it. It looks fun.
Yeah, that's right. So we don't have a poll this week, guys, but still hit us up on Twitter at G of the Geeks if you would like. So a main topic for our show this week, and we probably should have talked about it last week. March 18th was the 1-year anniversary of Zack Snyders Justice League coming to HBO Max and other outlets. It's a movie that people still argue about, still talk about. It's a movie that people celebrate, and it's a movie that people shit upon. So I watched it recently, Chris. I'm not sure if you watched it recently or not. But give me some overall thoughts about Zack Snyders Justice League 1 year later.
It's been a while since I watched it, start to finish or all of it. I bought the 4K a while back, and I watched it on disc, and it was really pretty. That's kind of the first thing I think about a lot of times when I think of that movie, that it's so good looking as a film. Mm-hmm. But I really love Zack Snyders Justice League. I think it is one of the best comic book films we've ever seen. There's a lot of good stuff in it. I think some things may have not aged as well, which is with any movie really, unless it's like Shawshank Redemption or something like that. There's going to be things that I don't like this much anymore. But as a whole, it's his magnum opus. I mean, it's great. I love the Batman stuff, the different characters. Like Cyborg is a great example because I didn't think I'd like Cyborg just because I'm not really familiar with the character. Mm-hmm. And there's all the controversy and stuff, but seeing it, I really liked that version of Cyborg. I thought he was awesome, and I really have nothing but good things to say about it, even a year later.
Yeah, I'm the same. I watched it in the same day, but I watched the first half, and then I went and picked up my kids, and then put them to bed and all that kind of stuff, and then watched it after they went to bed. One of the things I realized this time, and maybe splitting up was the way to do it, but the 4 hours passed a lot quicker than the first and second time that I watched it. The story worked a lot better. The stuff with Steppenwolf worked a little better for me. His look, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, worked better for me. Yeah, but watching it again, it just worked more. And it's not a new take, it's not a new thing, but it just made me kind of sad watching it that this stuff wasn't going to continue somehow. Everything about it, whether it be Affleck or the Flash. Obviously, we're getting a Flash movie, but not the Flash from originally that was happening. And we love Cyborg. I love Cyborg in the movie. You do too. It's upsetting that we're not getting more Cyborg. It just made me upset, and I hate that I felt that way, that it wasn't continuing. But if all we get is a 4-hour, like you said, a magnus opus of Zack Snyders Justice League, and it's just as good as this, I'm okay with that too. I wish there was more. I would have been okay with more. I think a lot of people would have been okay with more, especially after they released this. I still my favorite scene in it is, or one of my favorite scenes is the Amazon scene where Steppenwolf and it was announced a while ago. It's probably not happening now because that's what happens. But that Amazon movie that they were going to make, and even in it was an anniversary of Wonder Woman 84 recently. Some of my favorite scenes in that movie were the opening with the Amazons in that as well. I want to see more Amazons. I want to see more badass chicks doing badass things. There's that. It's probably my favorite line in the whole movie, where Steppenwolf shows up and he's talking to what's her name, Wonder Woman's mom, and he says, "We can smell your fear," and she says, Amazons show him your fear, and they scream out, "We have no fear." Yeah, like just saying that right now, and them doing that in that movie just gives me goosebumps. These women, they're not afraid, and they do everything. They die, protecting this box. And the action scene in that is incredible. It's the most menacing Steppenwolf, and he's chopping up horses. He's chopping up Amazons.
He throws a horse.
He picks two of them up, throwing them over his head. So yeah, it's just I love that scene. I can watch that scene over and over again. I can watch all the scenes over and over again. I was upset that it was 4 hours to begin with, but it's on a streaming service. I can watch it anytime I want, as long as I want, as short as I want. Another thing I really liked was the chapters.
Yeah,
I love how the chapters break everything up. I think it makes it so much easier to watch.
It makes it a lot easier to digest too, because if you only want to watch a certain segment of it, you can just go to your segment and you're good. There was some in the comments just threw me off.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Juan.
Yeah. Also, when you said Hippolyta, her name, for some reason I want to call her Bernadette, but I know it's not Bernadette. It's Hippolyta.
Yeah, Hippolyta. That's what
I don't know where Bernadette came from. But yeah, you can go to certain chapters and watch whatever you want. Mm-hmm. My favorite scene might actually be when they're getting onto the flying fox. Like, that's not a suit up scene, but that get ready scene. And then as they get on, I forget what Alfred says, but I said about Superman, "Are you sure he'll come?" I think. And that's Bruce turns to him, "Faith, Alfred. Faith." I love that so much. Yep. But I also love Affleck's Batman. So.
Yeah, that the arc of Affleck, is great. The whole believing, the whole, one of the things I really disliked about the movie is you go 2.5. I think it's 2 hours 45 minutes, and there's no Superman. Mm-hmm. And then when you get him, he kind of doesn't do anything. He flies off with Lois, and they go stand in a cornfield for a while.
I mean, you got to regenerate, bro.
I get it. I wanted more Superman, and it's a bummer. Like, that's always the biggest thing and the biggest loss and the biggest, disrespectful thing that we've seen in the whole Zack Snyder thing is they killed off Superman, they brought him back, and then that's it. We don't see more. We don't see more of the Superman that shows up. We don't get more of the. We're assuming that Lois is pregnant. We don't get more of that. We don't get more of the Clark Kent and his mom and all that kind of stuff. I wanted more of that. That's all.
Affleck. Yeah, no, I get that too. I didn't mind the amount of Superman in this though, because I think what we do get of him works so well that it doesn't bother me. But I would have liked more, and I still would like to see more Henry Cavill. I'm just throwing that out there.
100%. Yeah.
He is my Superman, but yeah, I don't really mind that. I think that he gets some good stuff to do, and also, I mean, when he shows up in that fight, it's pretty cool. I'm
100% it is.
that. Well, that
Well,
scene he's looking at Darkseid, like that's pretty.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's another. He turns around and the league is ready to do battle. They're ready for that. For Darkseid and his army decide to come through that boom tube. They're ready to keep going.
I really one thing. This is a nitpick, a complete nitpick. At the end, I wish he would have ripped the shirt and it's the blue suit underneath instead of black. But that's a really just a nitpick.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I want. I wanted it. It's not a fault on the movie. It's a fault on what happened.
I do.
Because of the theatrical Justice League, because of BVS, because of all that stuff, is that we don't get to see more. We don't get to see that blue-suited Cavill Superman being the Superman that we know that he was going to eventually be.
Yeah, this was his moment.
Exactly. We didn't see more of that. The black suit's dumb. We get why it's there, but they never explain why it's there. It doesn't really make any sense. And then why is he still wearing it when he's walking through Metropolis going somewhere?
I like the black.
Who knows where he's going, but
I like the way that they use in this movie. Actually,
that's all right. I'm not going to wait another year to watch it. I watched it when it first came out, and I think I watched it a couple days afterwards. So I watched that black and gray or the Justice's Gray edition or whatever. And then I hadn't watched it since. This was the first time I had watched it again since then. I won't wait again. I won't watch it once a year, or maybe I will just watch it once a year, and I'll just keep up the anniversary of it because it's damn good.
Did you watch the Justice's Gray version just now, or the regular one?
No, I watched the colored one.
Oh, okay, I don't really like the Justice's Gray version.
Yeah, there's no need for it. I get it. Let Snyder do whatever he wants. Considering what you did to him, there's no need for it. The color is good. Color is good.
There's even the black and white cut of Logan. I don't really want to watch it either.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the Mad Max Fury Road one either.
Oh yeah, I forget that has one too. Yeah, I like color, unless it's a movie that I like Ed Wood. I'll watch in black and white, of course, and I think it's better for black and white, but. If it's not a movie that was made at that time period, do I need? Or Belfast was. I watched Belfast. I forgot about that. That was a good movie. I watched that this week.
And that's good black and white.
Yeah, that's good black and white. I watched that also this week. So put that on.
There you go. All right, guys. So that's a little bit of a retrospective on Justice League or Zack Snyders Justice League. We both still love it. I love it even more now. I think again, the more that I watch things, the more that I talk about them, just the more I like them. So. In a year, we can have the retrospective of Zack Snyders Justice League. Grabs, you're absolutely right. I look forward to you being there.
Well, next year we need Grabs on here with us talking about it.
Yeah, he's got to have the same mojo that he has tonight, or it won't be worth it. All right, guys. So that's our main topic. That's pretty much the show for this week. But we're going to announce right now. Again, we don't have a poll for this week because we will not have a show next week, April the 3rd. We're taking the night off, but we are going. This is Moon Knight week. We are seeing the first episode of Moon Knight, and we will have our audio-only podcast full spoiler review out on March 5th on the Tuesday. So you'll still hear us next week. It'll be a later one on Tuesday, but we will have no show next week. No live show on Sunday. So yeah, it is Moon Knight week, Chris. You're only 72 hours away and a bit, maybe. How you doing with it, man?
I'm not sure if we have the time for me to go over it, but I am all in. I am so excited. All the early reviews got me more amped than I already was, just because it's confirmation. Hey, it's not crap, or maybe it's not crap. I mean, it's a review, but the reviews are really helping, and I'm trying my best to avoid all the new footage that Disney and Marvel just keep pumping out daily for some reason. Like, we get it, it's coming. I don't need to see everything in a trailer. Also, I am frantically looking for merchandise. So there's that too.
Yeah, nothing has been released yet?
Well, there's T-shirts, but I want to see them before I buy anything.
Okay.
Just material things. Like Hot Topic, I don't really care for the material of their shirts and the way they print logos on. And they're the ones who have all the stuff so far. So just a thing. But yeah, Moon Knight Week. I'm excited.
Chris is amped up about that. And our show, our audio only show that we'll be releasing next Tuesday, March 5th. Chris's friend Aaron, you can find him on Twitter at Aaron Kajanto. So AARONKAJANTO. He will be doing the show. There he is, right there. So he will be helping us out. We got two big, huge Moon Knight fans and one guy that will have lots of questions for those Moon Knight fans. So I can't wait for it, guys. So, and again, make sure you hit us up wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you'll get that episode. So yeah, again, no show on Sunday the 3rd, but we will have an audio only Moon Knight full spoiler episode 1 review on the 5th. That's it, Chris. Hit us up with some plugs, man.
Plugs? I don't want to do plugs.
All right, well then don't do it then. What do I care?
We'll do it. It's fine. You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. But as always, please follow the Twitter account for Gathering of the Geeks at G of the Geeks. I don't know the YouTube stuff. Emmet does.
I want to thank you. Say thanks to Grabs, Juan, Aaron, who popped in there quickly, Cookie, Eric, Lauren, Jason. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are the best. Thanks for making Sunday a great night for us. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter at G of the Geeks. And like Chris said, we're on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. You can follow me at EmmettDavis7 on Twitter if you want to. In saying all that, for Chris, I'm Emmet. We gather on Sundays.